I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Senator John Kennedy gets into a back and forth with Rohit Chopra, the director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Kennedy asks Chopra if unintentional discrimination is possible while pressing him on the CFPB proposal of Section 1071 of the Dodd-Frank Act. The discussion ended with Kennedy, who is known for making viral moments, shaking his head. Take a listen for Chopra's response during Tuesday's Senate Banking Committee.
Kennedy from Louisiana is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What do I call you? Mr. Director or Mr.?
You can call me whatever you want, sir.
Well, I'd rather call you by your proper title.
Yes, I serve as a director.
Director,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Thanks, Mr. Director. I want to ask you about this rule 1071. I understand it's not finalized yet. You're in the middle of it. You've proposed to have banks guess the race of a small business owner if the small business owner elects not to provide race information. Is that right?
I was not at the Bureau when this was proposed.
Do you support that?
I don't want to talk about an open rulemaking. We are looking at all the comments related to this, and I believe what you're referencing is the visual observation provision when data is missing. I take it very seriously. There is a lot of comments about this. We will look hard at that.
You have small business owners that don't want to declare their race, and you've got a proposal. Your agency does to make the banks guess. Is that right?
I don't think that's exactly how it works.
I do.
The bulk of it.
I do. I've talked to too many bankers. Do you support that concept? Let's take it away from the rule. Do you support that concept?
Well, I'm not gonna make decisions about a rulemaking that's open right now when we're supposed to look at all the comments fairly.
Yeah, I know how objective you are.
But that's the process we're going to follow, and that's what we have to do.
Yeah, I understand. I know about your objectivity. Have you ever been in business?
Yes.
What kind of business were you in?
A number of it. Before I was in government, I was, a management consultant for multiple firms. I served clients in financial services.
You were a consultant?
Pharmaceuticals.
Have you ever had to make a payroll?
I don't know if I've ever paid employees, but I believe I've been self-employed a long time ago.
Yeah, you just paid yourself. Is that what it was?
Well, and vendors, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Tell me about this approach at your agency. I'm going to get I didn't have time to look up the correct term. I think of it as statistical discrimination. In other words, you look at a set of numbers, and if there's a disparate racial impact, you assume discrimination. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
I think I know what you're referencing.
In
our laws,
you guys do it all the time.
I don't know if we do it all the time,
but you
but
do it a lot, don't you?
I don't think so.
You don't. Do you believe in that approach?
Well, the regulation that implements the Equal Credit Opportunity Act specifically has provisions around unintentional discrimination or discrimination where you don't have hard evidence.
So you think there can be discrimination without intent?
Well, that's what actually we do think that many of these algorithms, especially that we see with all this surveillance, big data. I mean, certainly what.
Yeah,
we
but I'm
see
talking
in
about
China,
humans. I'm talking about human beings. Do you think human beings can racially discriminate without without intending to racially discriminate?
I think that's a philosophy. I don't really understand the question, but the question is if the outcome.
Do you have to? Does a human being have to have intent to discriminate on the basis of race? You understand that, don't you?
Well, I think if you're saying they discriminate, then they are intending to do it.
No, I'm not. You can make a distinction among human beings of different races on factors other than immutable characteristics.
Oh, of course.
You don't think
of
all
course,
people
and that's
of a race have a particular characteristic?
Of course,
do you?
that's exactly, I think, what the law is saying, too. The law is saying that if it's not explained by other factors, then the courts have established a burden-shifting
It has to be race.
framework, too. Sorry?
It has to be race if it can't be explained by other factors?
No. The idea is that if it's not explained by other factors, the courts have established that there can be liability. Does that make sense? I'm sorry.
None of what you do over there makes sense.
Okay, well, we're happy to take questions for the record,
I
and I'm
know.
happy to meet with you.
Thank you,
sir,
Mr.
to talk
Chairman.
through it.
Thanks, Senator Kennedy. Senator